Good morning. Today I will start the first video related to using Talend framework in order to create and to feed data warehouse for the main objective analyzing sales. So the first thing to do is to present. I will share with you my screen. So the first thing to do is to install the different needed tools for this project. Our project, I remember that focus on analyzing data for sales. So here the different needed tools. For instance, we need to install Talend. Also, we need to install GDK, and we need to install also our database management system, Postgresql. So to start with, we need first of all to configure our environment variables. Here, I will share with you another file that explain the different steps to install Talend and to make needed configuration for Java JDK. This file will be shared with you in the description. So as you see here, the first thing to do is to download JDK using this link. Next, you can just configure your environment variables. I will explain how doing this. So here, environment variables. In my computer, JDK is added in my variable, my environment, but you can download and you can follow these steps to configure correctly your work. So here in path, you can modify it. You can add a new path. This is the correct path where Java is installed. You can copy this path from your computer, program files here, Java. GDK bin, and you can just copy paste this path and add it here. Okay. Now we can move to use Talend, and I will demonstrate how using this framework. So for Talend, I also share with you the appropriate link to download it from this link. You can just extract the different files and you can directly use it. Here, my Talend. Okay, I've extracted my files. You can just launch the application from this link. Okay, so the first thing to do is to choose creating a new project. But before creating the new project, I will choose our workspace. Here, for instance. Okay, I will modify. I can choose the same folder or another folder, no problem. For instance, I will create a new folder for our workspace. In this workspace, all created jobs will be saved. So, for instance, practical works. Okay. So this. Okay. I will start my alarm. Okay, terminate. Okay, this is the first interface of Talend. Here, a guide how presenting Talend Studio for data integration. You can follow the different description, but I will close this window. Here, these the different parts in Talend. Here, where we create our jobs here, and when we can also add different files, source files, either delimited files or XML files or Excel files. Also, we can create connection to databases in order to feed our data. And we execute here our jobs, our created jobs. So to start with here, I will start by, I will keep the Talend, and I will install PostgreSQL to create the main structure of our database, or the main schema of our database. Next, we move to Talend in order to extract the data from different sources and feed this data into our data warehouse. So here I will install pgadmin, PostgreSQL. You can also find here, I will provide the link to download the pgadmin or PostgreSQL. But once you downloaded it, you can directly install this tool. So I will launch the installation. I would like to modify the name of my project. Rather using local project, I would like to modify this name. So I will launch Talend in the same time of installing PostgreSQL. And sales project, create, okay. Okay, so just we need to wait for PostgreSQL installation. Okay. So we just follow the different instruction without any modification. Next, just here you need to specify the password of the password and the user name. So our password is manager. You can use manager. Next, we need this number in the next steps. Next, okay, next. Okay, we will wait for this installation, but at the same time, I would like to show how we can add source files in Talend metadata. So here our files we need today to provide our data warehouse are saved here in the folder files. Here, customer, I will move them. You can keep them in any space. So files, for instance, if we start by customer here, for instance, I will add these files, all of these files into my metadata here in order to use them for data warehouse alimentation. So here we can choose delimited files because in our case, customer, for instance, if we choose customer, files, these files are of type CSV files, so we can here choose delimited files rather than using XML or XLS files. So here, right button on delimited files, create a new file, delimited file. I will call it customer. Okay, next. Here we just specify the path of this file. Project files, customer. Yes. Next. Now we need to specify the separated character, either semicolon or a comma or any other character. In our case, we just need to define the first line as a line of our header here, and we can actualize. Okay, this is what we need to specify for the first file. Next. Of the customer file. Okay, without any change here, finish. Okay, and here we have our first file customer added in my workspace. The same thing for the different files. I will create another file, call it for instance like orders. Okay, next. Okay, orders. Here the separated character is the semicolon, so I will keep the same character and okay, just here, define the first line as the header of our file. Next. Okay, and finish. The same for here, I have two files. The same for the other file, create a new file. Just would like to check product, for instance. Next. Okay, same thing, semicolon. Okay, no problem. So just we define the first line as a header. Okay, and finish. We need to add two other files for vendors and vendors product. Okay, so vendors here. Next. Here the separated character is the comma, so just we need to specify this in separator comma rather than semicolon, and we define our first line and just we actualize our visualization. Okay, it's okay. So next. Okay, and finish. We need to add the last file, vendors product, in the same way. So here, right button, create a new delimited file, vendors product. Next. Okay. The same here, the comma is the separated character, so we need to specify it here to obtain two different columns. Okay, next. Okay. Here all files are added. Now we need only to create a connection with PostgreSQL, but before this step, we need to complete the installation of our PostgreSQL and create the schema or the main structure of our database. The schema of our database consists of the different dimensions and the fact table if we choose to use the star schema. So we need to create a fact table and the different tables for dimensions. We just wait to terminate our installation. Next, we move to the connection between Talend and PostgreSQL. So when the installation is terminated, we can just okay, here we can cancel here. Okay, and the installation is terminated. So we can just launch our database management system, pgadmin. Okay, pgadmin. And the objective here is to create the main schema of our database, of our data warehouse, that contain the different dimension tables and the fact table. So, okay, okay, server, okay. Here, okay. So here our database management system, PostgreSQL using pgadmin interface in order to provide, in order to create the connection between Talend and pgadmin. So the first thing to do here is to create the main schema of our database and to identify the different dimensions and the fact table. In order to create the main structure of dimension tables, which columns, etc. The same for the fact table. So here you can prepare a script, SQL script here. For instance, here. Thank you to my colleague Ayman Haj Qasim for this script. So here you can use this script to create the schema of your data warehouse. So drop table if exists. If you have already these tables, you can drop them. Otherwise, you can directly create your schema. So create schema. We create a new schema. A schema is a database that describes the different tables and their columns. Here, our schema is called data warehouse, DWH. Next, we also need to create the different tables into data warehouse schema. Create table at our house dot dimension product. For each dimension, we just define the different columns and their appropriate types. So this file will also be shared in my video series. So I just copy paste this code here that specify how creating the different tables. But before that, I would like to create a new database. Create, right button, create database. I will call our database data warehouse sales. Okay, and save. Once the database is created, we can within this database, under this database, we can create our script to create the schema of the database. The schema is the global structure and contains the different table of the database. So we can just right button on our database and choose query tool and paste the script that helps us to create the different dimensions, 4 dimensions and fact table. Here we have different dimensions, for example, dimension product, dimension vendors that provide us with the different products, dimension customer, and dimension period. With our fact table, sales or fact, that contain 2 parts. The first part is devoted for the different foreign keys provided from the dimension tables and our main measure revenue, that is numeric value. So here, once we copy paste the code, you can execute the script, and the different tables are created. We can verify this here in the schema. We have a new schema created at our house, and under this schema we can find the different created tables. Tables here. We have 5 main tables, 4 tables for the dimensions, and only 1 table for the fact table. Here you can also verify the different columns of each table. So now, once our schema is created, we can create a connection with Talend. So here to to create a new connection, we can choose connection to database, right button, create connection. We can call it con data sales. You can choose any name. Count data warehouse sales. Next. Okay, here we have to choose the type of the database. In our case, we use PostgreSQL, so we can choose PostgreSQL. For the connection here, you can specify our connection, the name of your connection, here the password. Here I would like to Postgres. The password is manager. Our server is the local host. Okay, next, the database, we call it our database is named data warehouse sales. Okay, we keep the same name either in lowercase or uppercase. You can you verify here that the same name is selected. So data warehouse sales. Okay, and our schema is the WH. Okay, we can test our connection. Okay, so our connection is succeeded, so we can move to retrieve our schema into Talend. Okay, finish. Here we have a new connection. In this connection, we can now retrieve our schema, so we can retrieve the different dimensions with our fact table in Talend. So right button here, retrieve our schema. Okay, next. This is the database. We select the schema and we select all the schema with the different dimensions and our fact table. Next. Okay, and finish. We can verify here the schema. All dimensions are provided in our Talend, and we can simply create now different jobs to fill data from the different sources, XLS files or CSV files, into these dimensions in order to create our final data warehouse. So now we can move to our second session or our next video that describe how we can element and how we can feed data into the different dimensions. And the final video will describe how to feed data into our fact table and create the final data warehouse. See you in the next video.